Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Hello Dave with Down to Earth Astronomy. First of all, some pretty exciting news. Frontier has just actually released information regarding the combat rebalance. I think by the time this video goes live, this should be reflected in the game as well. And what they're doing is they have increased the payout for NPC bounties. This is, as far as I understand, it's not combat vouchers that you get in conflict zones. This is just NPC bounties that you get from killing NPCs in hash-rest sites and pyro activity zones. Those has been increased by either a factor of 4 to 10. Worst case, you're getting 4 times the payout from combat that you did before, or you can get up to 10 times. The smaller bounty, so for smaller ships, it will be up in the closer to the 10 times, where for the bigger ships, it will be probably closer to 4 times increase. So that means we're going to be able to see bounties now from bigger ships around 1 million per kill. That's pretty good. Adding to that, they have also doubled the payout that you would get for solo combat missions. So that would be massacre missions. And we're not talking wing missions here, it's just the solo ones. Payout from those has been doubled. So that means there should now be plenty of opportunity to go out and make some very pretty cash when it comes to NPC hunting. One little thing that's worth mentioning if you go out and want to test this, that when you kill an NPC, the little bounty you collect shows up in the upper right hand corner of the screen. That number will not reflect these changes yet. Not sure why, but you says that the transaction tab will. So the little number shown up in the upper right corner will still be the same as it always been. And you still see the old bounty values, but if you go to a transaction tab in the left-hand panel, there you will be able to see the increased values. Also, the Frontier community team has hosted the first AMA forum thread, AMA being Ask Me Anything. These threads, the idea is that at a pre-announced time, people could go into these forum threads, they could ask questions, and the community team would then be there replying to these questions. And I think it's a wonderful idea. I think it's great to see Frontier interacting more with the community, and this is a great way for them to do two-way communication, because often, like when you do bigger live streams or when you do forum announcement posts, those kind of things, while people can reply with comments on them, it is still a lot of like one-way communication. So it's a nice way to see Frontier interacting more in a dialogue way with the rest of the community. Unfortunately, of course, a lot of questions that were asked were outstanding issues regarding Odyssey, like things we don't know, things people are puzzled about. And here comes the very tight information release management that Frontier is running. They seem to have a really clear lines of what information is released when and where. And that also means that the community weren't really able to share anything that weren't already published. So there were not really any significant new information. And a lot of the answers it basically came down to 3 different answers. They have nothing to share yet. Watch this space for more information later. And thanks for your feedback if people came with like suggestions for changes that could be made in the game or things like that. I mean, you should not expect this to be a place where you get new information about upcoming stuff. I think this is like, hey, I have always wondered how does this work, or why is that, or how about like something that's already existing in the game. I think those are the type of questions that could be interesting to ask in a context like an AMA thread here, because obviously they're not going to be able to just go out and begin to tell everything about what's going to happen in Odyssey. That is already part of some release schedule, and hopefully something we will see in a dev diary in the not too distant future. But that's not the only new thing Frontier has been testing out lately. They have also been testing out loot drops on Twitch. If you're not familiar with loot drops, if you're watching a live stream on Twitch, in some cases, if it's enabled, you can have these loot drops. So if you watch a live stream for a certain period of time, you will get some in-game stuff. And it of course depends on the game, what it is. And in Frontier's case, they gave out some paint jobs during one of their live streams last week. I like the idea of having like loot drops implemented on the official channel. And rumor has it that this may also be something that's going to come to elite content creators like myself. Now, that of course means that since this effect won't work on YouTube, the YouTube side, and since I am dual streaming to both YouTube and Twitch at the same time, That means people watching on YouTube, they won't get these loot drops, but people watching on Twitch will. So it means there will be quite a big incentive for people to migrate from YouTube over to Twitch. And while I am still planning to keep YouTube my main platform, this is where I do my videos, and this is also where I have my main live stream audience. So therefore, it's never been a strategy for me to try and migrate people from YouTube to Twitch like many other Twitch streamers does. I think it's the meta for growing on Twitch at the moment is to have a lot of audiences like get discovered on YouTube and then make people migrate from YouTube to Twitch. But I'm definitely planning to keep people on YouTube. This is my main platform, and the reason I'm dual streaming is because a lot of people prefer to watch on Twitch, so I figured why not? I'm kind of using Twitch the opposite way of many others. I'm using the fact that I already have a following on YouTube to maybe also get discovered by some people who don't watch live streams or don't watch YouTube videos, or just watch live streams, and then, yeah, the other way around. You get my point. But point being, I think if Frontier were to extend this program to content creators as well with the loot drops, I would most likely sign up for it as well and give you guys some chance to get some paid jobs or some in-game stuff for watching live streams. But yeah, it does of course come with some caveats in my specific case. Now, if you're a newer player or know someone who's new to the game, or maybe you haven't unlocked all your engineers yet, then you should listen now. The East India Company is a Elite Dangerous group of players who basically like trade commodities you need to unlock engineers. So the idea is if you're trying to unlock specific engineers and you need some materials, some cargo, basically anything that goes in your cargo hold, then you can go to the East India Company and usually you'll be able to trade you to this. So you could go and you could say, I want my modular terminals. So you can go and get your modular terminals, and then in exchange you maybe hand over some, I don't know, low temperature diamond, some painite, whatever. But what they're doing, I think both to help out the massive influx of new players who recently come into the game, but also to kind of celebrate the Christmas period that is coming on. From tomorrow, they will be hosting what they call the EI Christmas event, where they're giving out these materials for free. So if you're trying to unlock engineers where you meet some of these materials, then now is a really good time to do so. I'll be sure to post a link in the description to a page where you can read more about this event, how to get in contact with them, how this whole thing works. So I just thought to mention it. I think it's a very nice gesture both to all the new commanders but also existing commanders who may not have unlocked the engineers yet. And finally, I need to talk about the live stream tomorrow. This is a no-brainer. I'll be going out. We'll be doing some combat testing. I'll be testing out both in hash rest sites. I'll be testing out in pirate activity zones, and I'll also be testing out the new massacre. Oh, it's not new massacre missions. The new payout for massacre missions. We're going to try to get a ballpark, like how much money can you now make from combat? And I'll try to answer that in my live stream tomorrow, which will be live streamed here on YouTube and on Twitch, and it will be at 8 o'clock in-game time, business as usual. I hope I will see a lot of you guys there. Thanks a lot for watching, and until next time, I will see you guys in space.